husband who is or who attended. And every now and then, if I could, being a school principal, I could not leave my school for so many times for a month. So it is my husband who go to the Manila, from Zambales to Manila, which is a 6-hour ride from that is a 6-hour ride from Zambales to Manila. So if I could not come to the activity, it is my husband who will attend. So that is now the this Karen's abduction had changed my life. And as I have said, my life is not normal anymore. What is normal in me is the abnormalities that had transpired with this Karen's abduction. And I said, I thought that my tears had dried up whenever I came to speak, but then I could not help but to be emotional. So I really always, I could not help but to have my tears fall. And last, no, it was 9, the ICAD conference, I have also attended. 9, it is scheduled at UK, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had attended the 2 days. And the night of 9, we had registered, and then we introduced ourselves. And December 10, I have a talk. I was the second speaker. And after my talk, I went right away to the station so I can catch up with the activity here in Belgium, the Ducot movie presentation. And I really made the audience from different countries, I really made them cry, because really I could not help myself. And almost all of them embraced me when I went out of the hall. They really all cried. So all of them are members or the families of the missing and killed. They came from different countries. And majority of the participants came from Turkey, they're Turkish, and Chile. And we're lucky that I was one among the participants, the only one from the Philippines, and I have shared my testimony or my story regarding my missing daughter. So I will not be speaking too much, because what is that the true situation was already told by our friend. And what I want to say, to emphasize, is that in my campaign, that we should all work together, we should unite, we should work in solidarity, so that we could end this legacy of killings or enforced disappearances in the whole world. So we should work one for all and all for one. And justice for Karen Empeño, justice for all the victims of enforced disappearances, and stop the killings now. Thank you.
I just wanted to know, because I told only a small bit, I think, but about Karen, you told us that she was collecting...
Yes.
You were telling that she was collecting stories, peasant songs in the communities.
Mm-hmm.
How did it? Why did she do that? What were her concerns, or what link did it have with her own life?
Because Karen hails from a very poor family. We belong to the poor family. So Karen's love for the poor upholds high. That's why her thesis has something to do with the poor. And it was about the collecting. She collected songs of these poor families or the peasant organizations. And that was maybe I think, and their presence in different places, because have I answered your their presence in different places that maybe somebody have told, or the military, that when these students go in the countryside, especially they are in or from the universities in Manila, especially if they are students from the University of the Philippines, they are branded as communists. So maybe somebody have given tip to a military, so that's why they were picked up.
But your daughter, so why the University of the Philippines? That she was a student activist? What was her commitment about? And were you never afraid of this commitment? Because this was in a period where a lot of persons were being killed or disappeared. Did you ever talk about this with her?
So Karen, as a student, she was really an activist. She was a member of the League of Filipino Students, Sambaleños, being came from Sambales. She was also a member of the Praxis, UP Stand Up, and other organizations. And she really wanted to change the system or the structure of the government. That's why she is. That's why she participated in this activism.
So, and what kind of activism, for what kind of causes were they
these organizations are peaceful movement, and they demands for change in the government. In the school, they demands not to increase the tuition fees, and also because in our government in the Philippines, that once you are a critic of the government and you oppose on the different policies and you fight for the poor, you are an enemy of the state. And if you are an enemy, you should disappear. You should be killed. And this was where my daughter Karen was a victim, which we call the OBL, the Oplan Bantaylaya, or the Operation Freedom Watch. That was during the Gloria Macapagal Arroyo regime. This is a counter-insurgency program designed after the US to quell all these activists, these peaceful people, anybody are being a target once you criticize the government or once you work for the poor. Yes.
And did you ever talk about this with her? Were you agreeing with what she did, or were you not afraid that something would happen to her?
Well, I can say frankly that I was innocent of the activities which my daughter had been going with. It was only the time I learned about her activities when he was already abducted. And I have realized that what he was fighting for is really worth. And I am very proud of my daughter. What